Take me from May 2007 forward 4 years. What would you do in your, if you win in the upcoming election? Where would you like to see the union go? What kind of projects or ideas do you have for the future of CTU?
Well, the first thing is, again, harnessing the power of now, unfortunately, only 32,000 members. Again, when we left office in 2004, we had 36,000 members in our union. Because of the Trojan horse, named Renaissance 2010, and the expansion of charter schools and contract schools, we now only have 32,000 and change in the membership rosters. So the first thing is harnessing the energy and the power of those members. On many fronts. One certainly would be on the front to fight locally, the Renaissance 2010 approach, to fight at the state level because we're in desperate need for reform of our school funding strategies. We've got an over-reliance on property taxes, and that has created the incredible inequities that allow us to sit in the middle of a suburban region where other schools are spending 2, 3, and in some cases 4 times more money per student than we spend here in Chicago. So there are some big picture items that need the power of the union. But the union's power also has to be channeled at the school level as well. The union is not an office downtown called the Merchandise Mart. The union is out here in the buildings on the front lines. And we have a mechanism that is underutilized within our union, and that's called the Professional Problems Committee. Every school should have a minimum of 5 people that are informed about the contract, knowledgeable about the rights, and act as a body that meets as required by the union contract, that meets monthly with the administration to talk about issues before they become problems, and to talk about problems before they become grievances, and to help empower members at the schools. Because in some ways, I can see somebody that isn't all that attuned to union issues might think, oh, what's the difference? Who's in office? How does that help me get enough paper? How does that help me if I've got too many kids in my classroom? And the answer is that that we've got a mechanism for power at the building level. The union delegate heads up this Professional Problems Committee. It's supposed to have at least 5 members on it, so that the union delegate isn't out there on a limb alone when an issue comes up. And we've got a body in the schools that is knowledgeable, as I say, about what the contract provides. Fighting for our rights, fighting for what is in that contract, is not trying to get some kind of a gift from management. Enforcing that contract is our right, and the only way to do that is to have a team of knowledgeable people that will help that member that isn't getting their test papers back in a timely way, that member that has 2 or 3 kids oversized, that member that may have more special ed kids in the class than is required by the contract. So that when we empower ourselves by being knowledgeable about what our rights are, and not being afraid to stand up for those rights. So my vision of the CTU, is a vision of empowered union members who aggressively, assertively stand up for what they're entitled to, because primarily what we have in our union contract are demands that enable us to have good working conditions, and the next part of that equation is that good working conditions are good learning conditions. We fought to lower class size. We fought to have books in the buildings, in the classrooms on day 1. We fought to have teacher aides. All of the things that we fought for in that contract are things that are good for kids because they improve the working conditions, they improve the learning conditions. So one of my priorities will be empowering those union committees in every school, so that we have members who believe that they've got rights, and those rights are to help them improve and be better in the classroom, help them do their jobs better in the classroom. Another vision is to show that the union can be a force in improving schools, to prove that you don't have to walk away from struggling schools and call that reform. Why the public isn't outraged over the mayor and the CEO of Chicago Public Schools taking credit for a reform revival here called the Renaissance, when in fact they're shuttering schools, closing them, displacing the students, and again, primarily the displacements are falling on children of high poverty, children of high levels of homelessness, high levels of mobility to begin with. So fighting, using our power to enforce our rights in the buildings, using our power to fight the anti-public school initiatives that are going on in the city, using our power to fight at the state level to get the funding that we need, using our power to fight at the national level against some of the serious problems that we have with the No Child Left Behind federal legislation.